Okay. Hi, good afternoon all. My name is Venkat. I'm a DevOps trainer. Here we can discuss about the DevOps demo. This demo has been designed considering the current market trends. The main objective of this demo is to help the people to learn the basics or fundamentals of the DevOps concepts so that we can get that detailed information about the DevOps. Okay, so by saying this, let's first understand what is the DevOps and how it will be useful, why DevOps, then we will see what organizations are expecting these concepts called DevOps, and then we can discuss about the tool sets, what are the latest tools are available and what are the organizations or expectations, and finally we can discuss about scope of the DevOps. Okay, so that is how we can splitting up the whole demo session today. Okay, so now comes to that, basically the organizations, if we can work for any organizations, at the end of the day, they have to make sure their customers happy in terms of providing the services, or to make sure that all the servers should be up and running, or all our applications should be highly availability. Okay, so as the business need, okay, they need, or every organizations are focusing certain rules or some key factors. So the first thing is we need to discuss about the continuous delivery of the software. So what is the continuous delivery of the software and how we can deliver it? Okay, you say example, you might be working for Infosys or Capgemini or any other organization. So you make sure what has been committed to the customer or our clients, you need to deliver it faster, right? So that is where now delivery is not just you can do it once. Okay, the immediate next time you can get a requirement or any new requirement, and we have to start working on it. Okay, so what I mean to tell is, so whenever a new requirement comes, we need to make sure how faster we are delivering it to our clients or who can access to that application or product. That is about delivery. So for every new product, we need to make sure we need to map that how we can deliver it faster. Okay, so that is about delivery it will be talking. Next, the second factor is if you want to deliver this product or application, so in that application there are multiple teams are working. Example, if we can go to organization, there are development team or release team or testing team, okay, or deployment team. There are multiple teams are there. They can put the effort to complete that product delivery. Okay, then finally once they can communicate it, okay, so and we are going to deliver it the product. Okay, so that is the reason if you want to deliver any product or application, so all the teams need to be collaborate, and once they can completed their activities, they can able to communicate. Okay, so that is about the better collaboration and communication. If they cannot collaborate, we cannot deliver effectively. Okay, so that is the reason better collaboration and communication is mandatory. Okay, now when we talk about that continuous delivery or better collaboration and communication, we have also focusing on the quality. Okay, so we need to make sure, okay, high quality we need to maintain. Okay, say example, we all are going to shopping or on Flipkart or Amazon website. Okay, as the product keep changing, you expect the pages to be appearing on the Amazon web page or Flipkart web page, correct or not? So the sale has opened and so many users are trying to access. If they make sure that the product page is displaying, but the quality of the picture what they are displaying is not good, okay, so then you will still not be happy. Okay, so the same way, anything that we are trying to deliver to our customer, if you are delivering it fastly, but if you are not delivering it with that expected quality, then there is no use. So that is where the company's expectation is, along with the how you are delivering faster, you need to make sure the quality of whatever you are delivering or product or application should be also higher actually. So that is what, when we are performing the delivery, please make sure that we need to deliver that product with the high quality. So that is about the quality will be talking. So the very important factor is when we can talk about continuous delivery or any product. Okay, so the very important thing is, so the security is very important thing. We are delivering the product, we are building the product. Okay, so when we are trying to deploy or release or scaling the servers, you have also make sure how secure your applications are servers. We need to deliver our application, we need servers. Okay, so if we can create the servers or we can scale up the servers based on the requirement, we can discuss that what is the scale up and all, and we can deploy our application into that any website. Please make sure that we need to maintain the security. Okay, so we can't expose directly any sensitive information. Okay, so why we need to maintain security means, if someone hacked our applications or if our servers are compromised, we are not happy. Okay, even our clients also not happy. So that is why because even we are putting a lot of efforts, our developing applications or delivering our applications, or we are putting more investment. So that is the reason security is more important. Okay, that's about the security. There are different ways we can maintain that security. So we can give for that control the permissions and file level security, application level security, and system level security. There are many ways are there. We will discuss it later. Next, so when we talk about that security and quality and delivery, so we need to focus on, okay, very important thing is cost and time. Okay, so here what is mean by cost? Okay, so cost here is, if a company has to make sure that they deliver the faster and also quality is also higher. Okay, that's what we discussed. If they put too much of people to work on that, or if they buy some software, those are licensed one, and we can get that help of it. Okay, then what happens? The cost of maintenance or product or delivery becomes higher. Okay, so that is where when the cost becomes higher, whatever they are trying to sell, or give the product or service will be also quite expensive. So that is where, to make sure the business is fine, the cost that has been put into all the maintenance and the product should be also lesser. Okay, so that is where what companies are focusing now is, they need to spend less time and cost, and they can deliver the quality applications or quality product. And that is where you hear all this, nowadays there are cost cutting happen, the layoffs happen. Okay, right? So anywhere unnecessarily they are spending, they won't, they want to reduce it. It could be a, engineers, or it could be a process, or it could be a servers which is being unused. So everything is cost for organization. So that is where, so wherever we need to reduce the cost, and we need to take the less time, and we need to provide the quality of the production. Okay, so that is about cost. And the next thing is, so if we can talk about the scalability and availability. As I told previous example, there are crores of people are log into that Amazon website or Flipkart website. If, say example, one server capacity is 1 crore, if they have logged in 5 crores, okay, so automatically we need to scale up the servers. Why? Because the traffic is more, or even accessing the people also is more. One server we can't able to control the traffic under. So that is where we need to scale up the servers. whenever the traffic is more. If the traffic is less, then we need to scale down the servers. That means we need to remove the servers. Someone need to remove from the backend. Okay. So if we can scale up the servers, our application should be high availability. Example, if any time the end users or anyone they can try to access our application should be high available. Okay, even example, if we can say the Google or Facebook, it's not available even 1 minute, they can get huge loss. So that is the reason. So how we are going to scalability and how we are going to available our application 24/7. So that's what using scalability and availability with the help of DevOps we can do it. Okay, that is about it. Next thing about outages. Okay, so if we go more our service-based organizations or startup organizations, okay, the same example what I told. Okay, you are doing shopping and because of so much of load, something went down. Okay, example, if you are doing shopping in any website, the load is more, then the service went down. Okay, so if you go to the certain startup company, you are trying to work on particular application, or you are doing some development, or you are doing some testing, but sometimes what happened, right? Some network outages happen, or some software upgrade has to be done. Okay, because of all these kind of things, if you are stop your work, whether it could be an hour or whether it could be an day, then that is called it as a outage. Okay, so now think about that Flipkart or Amazon website. Okay, if they are goes down even a minute or even a second, when the sale is going on, then they are going to huge loss. Okay, they are going to get huge loss. So that is the reason. So what we can do, this is where what companies are looking at is whatever kind of the problem that they are facing, whether it could be upgrading a server, or whether it could be a OS upgrade, or whether they are going to upgrade the software or application. Okay, so they need to make sure how quickly they can find that issue and they can fix it. So that's what the time that they have taken to fix a problem should always very less time. Okay, so that is how the end users will be happy, and we will be able to do the continuous delivery with the quality. Okay, so that is what in simple every organization is looking at. So these are that couple of factors they are going to looking at actually. So the next thing is we can talk about that DevOps introduction. So basically DevOps is not a technology, or even it's not a tool, or not at all software. Then what DevOps it is? It is just like a methodology or a culture, or it's a more on our mindset actually, more over the mindset. So example, we are going to take a product from the client and we can develop it and we can build it and we can deploy it. Okay, or we can test it and deploy it. Okay, so that millions of people can use it. This entire process has variety ways that we can go through it. Okay, so DevOps is the one of the way which we can use to how we can take the product or application and how we can design and how we can test it and how we can deploy automatically. That's about DevOps actually. So not only this, okay, it is more our culture where the organization is trying to solve some problems to meet their business goals or their business requirement. So in this way, in every organization, they can primarily divide the entire engineers or softwares into the two groups in terms of technically they are development group and they are operations group. Okay, so if we can discuss about the development group, so under that development groups comes the developers or testers or release engineers. Okay, so as we told, so in terms of DevOps, an organization is trying to solve the problems, which is both on, development group side, which is called a product group, or we can tell operations group side. Okay, so we can see how, as a DevOps engineer, they can fix the problems. Okay, let's go through it. When you go to as a DevOps engineer for any organization, you will be either joining into the development group or you will be joining into the operations group. So in this way, you need to first understand what is the goal that the company or organization is trying to solve in terms of what are the problems having in that organizations or in the both groups, how we are going to resolve them. Okay, so to consider this, if we focusing towards the requirement for a DevOps engineer in the dev group or product group side, you focus should be higher on ensuring that how release the product faster or how we can deliver the product faster. That is the first thing we need to ensure from the development group. And the second thing is, as I told, in the rules or factors, while delivering that product, we need to make sure how we can increase the product quality. Okay, so that also developer has to, that means development team has to take care. Then the third thing is, okay, so how we can increase that agility. We'll discuss this. How we can, agility means how we can work with the parallel things with the, span of time we need to deliver it. Then the third one is how we are improve that continuous monitoring. Okay, so this is about these all the activities high level, product group or development group will be taken care. So in organizations, if you can go there, as I told, there are, a lot of groups are available. The first thing is, developers are available, testers or SQ engineers. Okay, so there are many teams available. So they need to make sure how they can do the continuous development or how they can do that continuous testing and how they can identify, any issues and they can fix continuously, and in, all those things they can take care actually in the development perspective. So in earlier days or olden days, we are using some, waterfall approach. We will discuss in that SDLC approaches. So if you have a releases, which will take, months or years. Okay, but now organization expectation is, or they wants to release their product in a matter of weeks or even sometimes in the matter of days, or if any blocking or critical issues also, they are going to expectation is matter of hours. Okay, hours we need to deliver. So this is how the focus on that DevOps for dev group is majorly towards how faster we can release. Okay, how we will be do that. That is the most appropriate they are looking. Okay, and as I told, it's not just about doing releases faster, but equally we need to ensure the quality of the product is also matter. So to maintain the quality for our application, so we will be doing some, static code analysis, vulnerability checks, code smells, quality checks. All these things we can use for a couple of tools. We will discuss that going forward. So what are the tools we can use to make sure the quality will be higher as we are delivering the product, and make sure that while you release our product, faster, or your quality of the product is also higher. That is, important while delivering that product. Okay. The second thing, what I told is agility. Okay. So, but sometimes what happened, right? While delivering that quality, any product, we are working parallelly with other activities as well. Okay. So that is the reason. At the same time, as a dev team or product group should also focus on the increased agility. Okay, so what is agility exactly here? So let's say I have a product. Earlier it was released in 2 months. Okay, now I have to release it in 2 weeks. So this is my goal actually. I will try to achieve this. Okay, so now along with that, there will be a lot of parallel activities or tasks need to be done. So how this will be doing in parallel? So that is where there is a approach is called agile approach will be there, and we can implement it with the help of that agile approach only. We can do it this faster. Okay, later we'll discuss this. Okay, to do this agile approach, how do you make sure when you are focusing on one release, if there is another release or there is another task that you need to work in the parallel, you should be able to do together, okay, with the help of agile approach. That means while you are focusing on one release, if there is any other releases or any blocking issue or hot fix or any enhancement which will come, you will not say wait until I finish this and then I will take the other changes. Okay, if you do that, things that won't work. So that, okay, what we can do based on the requirement or the market range, you should be able to focus on how do we deliver the things in parallel within the given time. So this is what agility is all about, the DevOps. Okay, so that is about the agility. So here the main thing is how we can work the parallel activities. That is about talking the agility. The third one, the last one is how to monitor that application. Since the DevOps does not focus on just the product side, we also equally focus on the operation side, which is called for every organization, that is called monitoring actually. So for all our application which we are developing, testing and deploying, we need a data center is required. Okay, if you need to develop or if you need to deploy or if you need to test, we need some data centers. Okay, so how do you make sure that those servers or applications are up and running, or how to make sure those are highly available? Okay, so you need to manage all those things. You might be need a storage or any database is required. Okay, why? Because we need to store all those things, right? Some storages or database we need to maintain it. Okay, example, why I need to tell this. Today we might have 5 clients or 5 customers. Tomorrow we might have 10 customers. Okay, and it might grows to 50 customers. Okay, so to help them or to serve all these customers, you also equal need infrastructure should be scalable. That's what I told. If the clients or customers or traffic goes to increase, how we are going to scaling our application? If the traffic is less, how we can scale down that application? Okay, why? Because as I told this example, because from 5 products now you will be starting working on 50 products, so your entire infrastructure is also going to increase. So that is why, how do you make sure your infrastructure need to be scaled easily? Whenever traffic is increased, you need to add the servers. Whenever the traffic is decreased, you need to delete the servers. So based on the load, we need to scale up or scale down. All those things we can able to monitoring by using the monitoring tools. Okay, then comes to that operation group. Okay, so operation side, so there are a couple of activities we need to make sure. The first thing is, okay, so maintain the servers, and second thing is configurations and network and storage, backup and rollbacks. Okay, so as a DevOps engineer, at the same time, you also have to make sure that how secure these all the applications or services within your application group. Okay, right? Because we can't just allow everyone to work on everywhere. So that is what operation side DevOps focuses actually. We need to maintain the security as well. So and finally, there is another important thing is we need to talk about that accessing or and we can talk about the disaster and recovery. Okay, so if you can comes to that accessing part here, high availability we already spoke, then scalability, Then security means how we are going to give that access. See, we can control that access for application using the ports, or even we can able to control by using the access methods as well. Okay, so if we can try to deploy one applications or servers or provisioning the servers, how we can control that access? Who need to access actually? What is the access we need to provide? Whether we can provide for the read access or write access, based on that we can control it. That is the requirement we need to take care as operations. When it comes to the disaster recovery, so let's say you have a Java applications running on, or backend you have a database server is running. It's not just important to make sure that the DB always is running, or the Java application is always running. You have the requirement to scale the servers or storage that we need to want. Okay, but what happens if something goes wrong? Okay, or say example, if server got crashed, okay, or if DB server went down, okay, then how we have bring back in the same state, okay, what we had earlier. That is what we can call it as a disaster recovery. So if the DB server crashed, how we have bring back to the server at the same state, that is called disaster recovery. And so from an operation side, the DevOps focuses that not just about that running applications on using accessing that applications, but also on the back end, how do you make sure that the application server is taking proper backup, or we are going to maintaining that, how to restore that application, we need to verify it. Okay, how do you make sure that proper replication is working or not? How do you store and storage the data, or how do you recover it? All those things we need to make sure it actually. So this is about the disaster and recovery actually. So the next thing is we should have to discuss about as a DevOps engineer, what are the skill set the organizations are looking. Okay, the first skill set is, as a DevOps engineer, we need to know at least one ticketing tool, bug tracking tool, project management tool. How we are going to create a tickets if we can get any issues, how we are going to track those issues, whether the issue is closed or still is going on, or how we can manage the project. Okay, if there are multiple projects are there, under the projects who all are there, how many tickets are there, how many modules are there, those about we'll be talking about the project management actually. Then we should have to talk about the platforms. Okay, so platform is nothing but whether it is a cloud platform, whether it is on premises. Okay, so in Linux or Windows, we should have to knowledge on it actually, at least one cloud platform. So if you can working on premises, end of the day, whatever you do, you are going to do in the physical servers or virtual machines, or nowadays everything there is in the cloud actually. So you need to have a good knowledge or good understanding of any one of the cloud platform activities. Okay, and apart from that, if the developer are doing applications like Java, C, Python, .NET, then you need to know some of the basics actually. You need to know what is the platform, how to compile, what is the output we'll get it. You need to learn how to write the code. This is the first expectation in the skill set actually. The next expectation is infrastructure automation. So as infra means we need some servers, correct or not? Okay, so if we need to create thousands of servers, before that first we can understand what is mean by infrastructure. Okay, whatever that you need to do your work, it could be a server, or it could be a database, or network, or security, or storage, or any other tools, okay, to deliver our application or product, which is called infrastructure. So if we can take any cloud, okay, if we can take any cloud, whether it could be Azure or AWS, GCP or Oracle, then you should know how to automate those. Okay, because we are talking about scalability. Okay, if you want to scale up or scale down, why? Because we are, there are more users are logged in. If I need to 500 servers in next 10 seconds, do you think you can create those many servers in the 10 seconds manually? It is not possible to spin up. It is possible, but it's time taken. But that time, servers, huge traffic will goes, then it got stuck actually. So that is where. So do you think you can create 500 servers in 10 seconds automatically by using infrastructure automation? Yes, we can. That's what we can call it as a infrastructure management. So here I am giving just example of the servers only, but we need to understand same thing for the other resources as well actually. So example, if you want to provisioning the storages automatically, how we can do that? Same thing, we need to map it. Okay, so that is about infrastructure automation. The skill, this is the one of that, another skill the DevOps person needed. The next thing is managing of the releases. Okay, so that's what we are talking. We need to talk about that, Ajay. How does that product or applications can be released and how they are merged? Okay, so they need people who exactly understand how does the release happen, or let's not worry about whether the company is using Java, .NET or Spring Boot application, Node.js, Ruby, Python, Go language, whatever it is. But you have to know how do we create a product outcome and how do you test the product, and we need to know all those things. Or finally, how does the entire release process happen? Okay, here the expectation is not that you are going to do everything like development or testing, but you need to know how do you manage that. Okay, so that's what we are expectation is release that management actually. Then the next thing is build and test automation. Okay, say example, so these we can implement it by using the pipelines which is called Jenkins pipelines, or we can use some other tools, Azure DevOps pipelines. Say developer writes the code, but we need to know how to take that code and how to build it and how to create the product of it. Okay, so if the developers create a code, then we need to take the code, we can build it and create the output. Okay, I don't need to know writing the code for that application, but definitely we should be able to know how do you create a product of it. So that's someone can test that final outcome and they can release it. Okay, so this is the one of the other skill you should be also needed. So if they can give any language which are an application, how do you create it and how do you test it? Okay, whether it is Java or Python, don't bother. We need to how we can automate by using the Jenkins pipeline or by using that other tools. Okay, that's what we need to know. And the next thing is how we can configure the servers automatically. Okay, so example, what is server configuration? Example, let's say you have a 500 servers created. Servers are creating servers are different, but inside the server you need to know what to install and what to configure. Okay, how to configure, what exactly we need to run, what to monitor, what to capture. Okay, all those things, the configuration part actually. For example, for running Java application, okay, what and all we need and how to configure them. Okay, or for running any other applications like C, C++, Ruby, what and all we need and how to configure it. Okay, if it is dev server or if it is DB servers or any server, so what and all we need and how to configure. Okay, so creating a server are one task, but you also need to know if a single server or multiple servers, how to configure them and how to automate them. So that's exactly where another skill set is looking. This is not one-time activity, and there will be a frequently updates. There are some software updates. there are some application upgrades, there are some patch OS upgrades, all those things comes actually. So that is the reason what we need to know, how to configure in the servers or how to configure the application. That is also need to know. This is the one of the skill set they're looking. Then how we are going to perform the automation deployments. Okay, so this is the one of the major important. Okay, first of all, what is the deployment? Now you have a application is created. That means the build the application, we can get one output that is called application output, which is what we can call it as a build. Okay, once we can created that application output, how do we run exactly? Okay, or how we can execute it? This is simply called as a DevOps. If we can take Java application, developers write the code, we can take the code, we can build the code, we can get that output. Using that output, how we can execute it or how we can run it exactly, that is called simply deployment. For example, let's say Amazon. Okay, you logged in the Amazon. Now logging is one part. As soon as you logged in, okay, depending on who have logged in, Amazon has some content. Okay, it has sourced some content. So from where where are they are getting it? Okay, example, I logged into that Amazon, they show some content. Okay, from where the Amazon taking that content, where it will be storing or where it will be getting. So there is another part of it, correct or not? Okay, so it's not like one single application, there are various parts of it. If single application contains, example, if you can take Amazon is one application that contains that ordering part, searching part, we can add the cart part. There are multiple parts are available actually. So you need to know how do you exactly install, okay, how exactly it should be running. Those concepts we can call it as a deployment. Okay, why we need to taking this deployment is, let's go back to that same example which I said. There are crores of users. For them we want to create 500 servers. So how to create the servers, or how we can automate this. So the next thing is automated the servers. You created 500 servers. You also know how to configure whatever is needed in that. Okay, that is another skill set is required. But now, okay, on those 500 servers, you need to know how to run our application exactly. Okay, what they needed. So that's exactly another skill set what they are looking as automation deployments. Then we can discuss about the final thing, monitor. So if you want to do some continuous monitoring, we cannot monitor manually. Okay, in order to do all those things like deployments, or we can do for that configuration, build and deployments, all those things. Okay, so what I told, which is high availability, right? If we can deploy that application, if anytime we can try to access, the application should be available. Okay, how do you make sure your application, your servers, everything is always running? Okay, so someone has to monitor, right? And when I say monitor, okay, I don't want to monitor the single server, need to monitor thousands or hundreds of servers, or other resources, or DB servers, or application level, or access level, space issue level, everything I need to monitor. So you need to know monitoring all of them in automated way, not only manually. So monitoring is one part, but if you have a issue, you need to fix it, correct or not? Okay, you need to be send alert in such a way there is there is going to be a problem, be ready to fix it. Like that, in a message, example, server is going down, like that you need to send a message automatically. For example, there are crores of people logged into the Flipkart, so there is a problem. If the machine or server crash, then I will sit and fix it. Okay, what will happen if I will do it like this? Okay, obviously the people will not happy, because it will take some time, and If you cannot fix, in time, then there is a huge loss. So they will be losing the scale or business, correct or not? Even if you can put for that, manual efforts. So that is where, if the issue are going to be happen, you need to be notified at the right time or what is happening, so that you can take necessary actions or we can fix that issue. Okay, we don't have time, again to sit and you can fix manually. All these things are monitoring manually. That is not happy actually. You cannot able to do manually and you cannot able to fix all those things. Whatever, if issue is occur, we need to alert and we need to fix automatically. That is how the monitoring will be held. Okay, so then finally what I told, security. Okay, this is at least one of the key skill which they are looking. Okay, whatever you do, whether it is infra creation, building, configuring, security, scaling, deploying, monitoring, okay, whatever you do, make sure you are doing in secured way. Okay, so that is where we can call it as a DevSecOps. How we are going to make our application security. So all those things we can discuss in the DevSecOps actually. So this using that enable the security. So security is everything you do in the DevOps is called DevSecOps actually. So this is another skill set that we are looking. So it's not, you blindly you automate, but also make sure it is secured manner. Example, if you need to, provisioning the servers, 500 servers, you cannot blindly provision the servers. You need to think about the security as well. So these are the skill set at least, they need to looking at actually. So if you want to do all this skill set, there are, tools are there. We can see it actually. So these are that, and even if you want to automate, if you want to deploy, we need some coding skills are required. So coding skills means you no need to write in that, Java code or, Python code, Ruby code like that. Okay, we have a couple of tools are there to automate all these, requirements which we have discussed, a few minutes back. So for those tools, you need to know how to write the syntax that is called coding in DevOps. Okay, example I told you need to do for the build and deployment automatically. So we told Jenkins. So this is the one of the tool which we can use to automate. So that time what happened, there is a script, it's called Jenkins file. This is the coding we need to write. How to write the coding for Jenkins file. Okay, we need to learn in the going forward. Okay, so and if you can comes to the Ansible, as I told, configuration is required. Okay, we need to configure the servers. We have deployed or we have provisioned the 500 servers. We need to make sure how we are going to configure the application, how we can install it. Okay, how we can remove, how we can start. All those things comes under the configuration. So there we can use that YAML or JSON. So these are the scripts we can use it. How we can write, we can write that syntax for particular YAML based or JSON based. Then comes to the Docker, we can use for that deployment perspective. So there is a file called Docker file, how we can write the syntax for it. Then as I told, we can automate for the infrastructure. Okay, if you want to provisioning that infrastructure, how we can exactly write that, TF file, Terraform files actually. So what is the syntax? So here there are some automation tools are there, which is example Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, and Terraform. So for all these tools, how we can write the syntax, that is called coding in DevOps. Okay, as DevOps level actually, as a engineers. So as comes to that application level, they can do it actually coding. Then, so as I told, we can discuss about the what are the tool stack the organization are looking. So platform I told, so we need to learn one is the Linux or cloud. Okay, so we'll discuss what is the Linux, what are the commands we need to learn, what is the cloud, and what are the services we need to learn. So platform side, at least we need to aware of these two. Then the second thing is we need to develop that application parallelly, and we need to deliver them. How we can develop, what are that, what is the agile, what is the scrum, what is the SDLC, how we can, deliver that application parallelly. We can discuss. So at least we need to know this concept. Then the second thing is, as I told, we need to automate for that build. Okay, how we can do the build? What is the Maven? Okay, what is a makefile? These are the two tools. Maven, which we can use for the build the Java application, make, which we can use to build the C application. We'll discuss this actually. And if you want to do for the CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous, deployment or delivery. So how we are going to use the Jenkins? So Jenkins is the tool which we can use to perform the CI/CD. Then, as I told, we need to learn for the SecOps. That means security. So how we are going to scan the duplications or errors. So okay, so we need to do the scanning for the C language or Java language. How we can do that? So with help of SonarQube, we can do it. Then, as I told, configuration management. So we need to configure applications. So inside servers, as I told, okay, we need to install particular software, or we need to upgrade the software. We need to start the application. Okay, all those things. There is a one tool is available which is called configuration management, which is called Ansible, Chef, Puppet, SaltStack. There are a lot of tools are there. So we are going to learn latest tool which is called Ansible. Then the next thing is ticketing, bug tracking, project management tool. As I told, Jira we need to learn. Then cloud we need to learn, AWS and Azure, or any one thing is fine actually. Then containerization, if you want to automate it for the deployments, we can use the Docker. And orchestration, so we need to maintain for that couple of all that infrastructure. So we can use EKS or AKS, and EKS means Elastic Kubernetes Service, which is available in that AWS. AKS means Azure Kubernetes Service, which is available in the Azure actually. Then, as I told, if you want to automate it for the infrastructure, we need to create the 500 servers at a time, 20 servers at a time. Based on that requirement, how we can automate those server creation, which we can call it as a infrastructure as a code with help of Terraform or Cloud Formation template. CFT means cloud, F means formation, T means template. With the help of this, we can do it. Terraform will be supported for the multiple clouds, but Cloud Formation template should be supported for only AWS, and ARM template should be supported for only Azure. Then, as I told, we need to monitor. We cannot fix, we cannot monitor the manually, and we cannot fix it. So how we are going to monitor automatically? There are tools called which we can use, Grafana and Prometheus. We can monitor it, and we have told a couple of things we need to automate it. Even with the help of shell scripts also, we can automate those activities. So going forward, how we are going to use these tools and what are the basics we need to learn, and all those things I can explain. Okay, so thank you very much. If you have any questions, can you please?